Welcome to Alive and Thriving. My name is Jessica. I am your host. Today, if you are watching this on YouTube, you will find me sitting on my office floor. I'm on a very comfortable floor cushion, and I just really had an urge to do things differently today. I didn't want to sit at my desk. I loved it outside, but it was a bit windy. And I just reminded myself that even though this is a really small shift, it's okay to do it differently. In fact, one of my clients recently inspired me to bring the floor cushions in and to sit on them for private sessions instead of sitting on the big chairs. And it just made for such a relaxed and comfortable atmosphere. And I thought, I'm going to do this more often. Like, why aren't I sitting in this position that actually makes me feel good? So here we are today, recording a podcast on the floor. I have my youngest. We have been navigating school holidays, but also navigating, she had her tonsils removed along with her adenoids and also something else done up in her nose as well. And so we have been navigating that recovery for the majority of the school holidays. And one thing that has really come to mind for me as we've been navigating that is actually there's two things, and one of them ties into what we're going to talk about today. But the first thing is really looking at and celebrating for me the fact that I have created a business that actually allows me to be able to take this time off and to do minimal during that time without completely not earning money. There's that, which I'm just so grateful for, because previously, and this was a realization that I had, it must have been not last year, the year before, I was unwell at one stage, and there was about a week where I had to cancel clients, or maybe a fortnight, it might have been a fortnight. And during that time, I literally saw nobody. I did nothing and I made no income. And my business, and I couldn't really show up. I thought I had to turn up still to do the things that I needed to do and tick off that to-do list and all those types of things. But I physically couldn't. I was just too sick. And so what happened in those 2 weeks was my business spiraled, and I felt like I took about 30 steps backwards. And that only really reaffirmed this belief that I was coming in with, that when you take time off, that everything then just becomes like too much. There is just too much to do when you get back. There is no one that can cover for you. Because even in my old job, yes, there were people obviously totally replaceable, like case in point, there is somebody now doing the role that I used to do. But I would have time off, and it was only just the essential things that somebody knew how to do, because no one was acting in these higher duties if you're off sick just for a week. And so a lot of the things would always be left there. And it's really the same with your business. If you are not delegating, if you are not outsourcing, if you don't have these systems in place to support you, and if you've not set up payment methods that allow things to be reoccurring, then, you're in that same position, aren't you? Just like you would be in a traditional role where if you have time off, the list only continues to build. Something else that I'm learning actually while I'm talking about it more and more is that so much of what is on my to-do list is not actually even essential. I can still have a successful launch without ticking off the 70 million steps on my launch checklist, on my ideal launch checklist. If I have the time and the capacity, amazing. If I don't, then I know that there is also another way for me, and I have actually found a lot of joy in exploring that. For so long, again, there was these ways that I had to do things, and if those things weren't done, then there's this narrative, there's this pressure, there's this, you've not done this correctly, and this shame and this guilt attached to it. But that's not even within my energy type. Like, my energy type is to skip steps, which I'm not doing because I know that. I've always done that. And knowing my human design and knowing my energy type just really reaffirmed that there's actually nothing wrong with me for wanting to do it in a shorter way. I can circle back and put in some of those steps. But when I look at my to-do list, it's like some of that doesn't even need to be done. Some of it actually can quite easily go into a that would be nice category. And a lot of it, I now delegate. There is so much of my list that I was just like, yes, that would be nice, or these things are essential, but no, I don't have to do them. I don't have to do them. And being in that position, which by the way, I know if you're listening to this and thinking, yeah, well, that's great, but I don't have the money to outsource or hire somebody. So there are so many different ways that you can work with external people. I have contractors, I have a VA, I have different people that I send different things to so they can work within their zone of genius. But just quickly, when I first engaged my VA, she was the very first outsource that I had. And I had this story that I couldn't afford it. And at that point, no, I wasn't really making any money. I didn't have regular, consistent clients, but I also had all these things that I felt like I wanted and needed to do in order to build a successful brand and in order to elevate my brand and in order to create the foundations so that I could hold the clients that I was calling in. Because at that point, I was like, I want to work with 15 clients a week. And you know what? If I had 15 clients come in, I would have fallen on my ass. I would not have handled it. There would not have been the systems in place. I wouldn't have had the energetic capacity. But I didn't know that at that time. That's a whole nother story. And that's another thing we talk about in energy management. Now, I've missed the point of what I was saying. Oh yeah, the outsourcing. So can you tell, just you can giggle along with me today, part of tonsil recovery has meant waking up multiple times a night to give pain relief. So I'm a little tired. That's okay. That's why we're sitting on the floor, we're comfy, we're casual, and we're going to be talking about looking after ourselves shortly. But this all links together because then when I first hired my amazing VA, who I still have now, she is so great. I had this story that I couldn't afford it for all the reasons I just explained. And then one day I realized that this admin, these extra things that I was doing, not even the extra things, just some of the things that I was doing was actually taking me a really long time. It was not in my zone of genius at all, not even in my zone of excellence. It was in my zone of this is really frustrating. Like I don't want to be doing this, but I feel like I have to. And it was taking me all day. And what I had done is I'd convinced myself that these things had to be done and that's what was going to move my business forward. And therefore I was putting Amelia in a casual day of daycare, which I wasn't subsidized for at that time. And so it was like $160 something a day for her to go to daycare, for me to be doing these things that were really a lot of them on this would be nice, that fit into the whole, well, yes, I want to build a brand that is like elevated, that is this, that I want to be positioned as this, and I want to achieve X, Y, Z. A lot of it fell into that rather than the essential. But then I realized one day I had a conversation with this VA that I work with now, and I realized that for her to do a couple of hours a week for me was going to cost me the same amount of money than what I was putting Amelia into daycare. And that was just this like aha moment where I was like, okay, I don't have to be doing this. I can actually get her back out of daycare that day, because booking these casual days, it wasn't even about the money. I was also resentful because I wanted these things done in my business. They were taking me so long to do and I couldn't spend the time that I wanted to with Amelia. She wasn't in daycare every day. It was just an extra day. And then that busyness feeling fueled the story then that I didn't even have time for clients. Like how ridiculous is that? Didn't have time for clients because I was too busy fumbling my way around Canva to advertise for clients. No, get rid of that story. So my point is, and the whole point of this is that outsourcing from very early on, to be very clear, outsourcing from before I was making money, outsourcing things that weren't in my zone of genius, things that my beautiful VA does. She does 25 times the amount of things in those hours than what I was doing, because they are in her zone of genius. That combination along with the systems, along with everything, has enabled me to be able to actually, first of all, be like, okay, I have to take most of these 2 weeks off to be with Amelia, and I'm not going to actually crumble because of that. And I say most because I chose to leave myself some admin tasks, like record this podcast, which I love doing. But I pre-did content. I was planned for this. I have systems again in place that have allowed me to have this time off. I've been on social media without actually having to be on social media. And the other thing that all of these things have done is not only allow me to be unwell if I need to be unwell, to be with my kids if I need to be with my kids, but it's also allowed me the capacity and the space to be able to look after myself better. And I've spoken before about little ways that I've made changes in terms of my daily routine. I actually now start my morning, I drop the girls off to school, I come back, I do my workout, and then I come and I start my work at 10 o'clock. I've got 45 minutes every single morning that I drop the girls to school. 45 minutes before I start, because I changed my mindset to say it's okay to start at 10 o'clock. Then before I actually start, and we spoke about this 2 episodes ago, I want you to go back to the time management episode, or just download my time resource that I will link below. And the reason I'm saying this is because at the very beginning of my workday, even though, okay, technically I've lost an hour because I'm not starting like right at 9 o'clock in the time that I have available. Remember that when we maximize the time we have available, it doesn't necessarily mean we have to stretch out to every minute of that hour or those 5 hours. I am working with significantly less time this year, and I am making significantly more money. Am my expenses higher? Absolutely. That comes a part of growing my business. That doesn't scare me. That excites me. My business is earning enough money to spend more on help. My business is earning enough money to be able to have extra support in place in my mastermind. Like all these things, right? I'm really off topic, but I think my Manny Gen brain can see how it's all related. Slowing down to speed up, like we spoke about 2 episodes ago, is then the first thing that I do at 10 o'clock. The very first thing. Because some mornings, maybe I've not gotten up and I've done an early morning routine. I was really great at that last year. This year, I'm listening to my energy. My energy says I need a different kind of sleep. So I'm allowing that to happen. I've let go of any meaning or attachment. I need to sleep because of things that are going on with my kids. That's fine. So I found another way to look after myself, because I'm not attached to maximizing productivity or being busy in every single minute of the time that I have. I'm not attached to that anymore. And so when I come in and I spend my first 5 minutes slowing down, maybe it's just connecting to my breath, connecting to my body. Sometimes I'll put some music on and I will have a dance. I've got a song. I always finish every single workout that I do. Ask my kids. Every workout that I do, I finish it having a dance to Natasha Bedingfield. And that just starts my day. That just starts me in the right mood. And I sing at the top of my lungs. And when the neighbor brought the dog in the other day because she had gone wandering down the driveway, and he walked up to my garage and I was dancing and singing, and I was like, yep, okay, he saw that. I'm looking after myself by doing that. And what I really believe and what I see, and I see this with my old patterns, but I see this with my clients. I see this with my one-on-one clients in particular, but we work towards not doing this in the mastermind. And that's what we're going to talk about now. That's what we're going to get straight into.
You're listening to Alive and Thriving with Jessica Reed, the podcast that's all about empowering you to achieve optimal wellness and success through self-care, holistic practices, and raw conversations. Jessica and her expert guests are here to share powerful insights and strategies to help you overcome stress and anxiety, take charge of your life, and thrive in life and in business. Grab a cuppa and let's dive in.
So you are the energy that shows up to run your business. You are the energy that shows up to co-create with the entity of your business. If you have listened to my Conscious and Aligned Business series, there is a whole episode, it might be 86 off the top of my head, that talks about co-creation. And it talks about how you are not the entirety of your business, even if you are a personal brand. And this allows you this perspective that is basically going to help you to have the time and space to be human, along with setting up the systems and setting up all of the space that I have spoken about in the introduction, so that you can still be you. Maybe you designed your business to give yourself a job. Maybe you designed your business to keep yourself really busy, or to run yourself into the ground, or to work 100 hours a week doing every single task. I didn't. And I do have a feeling that if you are listening to this, neither did you. You didn't create your business so that it could consume every part of you. Yes, there might have been a motive behind it that, yes, we do. We need to make money so we can keep our kids fed and our houses paid for and all those things. Absolutely. But you're choosing to make money in a way that is really aligned with your purpose, that is meaningful. And for most of the ladies that I talk to, and definitely everybody that I work with, you are choosing to make money in a way that is impact driven, because you now are so aware that this job that you've created for yourself, this business that has given you a job, that has given you a means to make money, is actually so much bigger than that. And then I'm not going to get into this now, because there are other episodes on really connecting into your big impact. And that is what we do in Embodied Entrepreneur. That is one of the first steps, is really connecting deep with that bigger picture and understanding your place and your purpose in that bigger picture, because you are the driver of the vehicle that is your impact-driven business. Okay? You are the driver. I don't believe, and I might get some hate for this, and that's okay because that's your opinion. I don't believe that my business is my baby, and it is, yes, I have birthed this creation, but I'm running it in co-creation with an energy of its own. And I really, truly believe that. My business has a purpose and I have a purpose, and together we get to create this bigger impact. So if you are the driver of your business, you cannot function properly, and you cannot make the impact that you really want to make if all of the things that you believe you have to do in your day-to-day business, because you've just gone and recreated a full-time job for yourself, is actually killing you. I have experienced burnout. I work with women who have been so burnt out that bed and chronic illness recovery became their only option. Their only option. If you do not make the time for yourself, and you might have heard this before, I'm going to say it again. That's why I'm slowing down. I'm saying it really dramatically. It's important, because the reality is, if you do not make the time, and here's the key word there, make or create the time for yourself, then I don't know how long exactly it's going to take, but eventually your body will make you. If you don't prioritize your health and your well-being mentally, physically, emotionally now, then again, your body will make you stop. And it might take a few years. It might take most of your working life. I don't know how long it is going to take for you. But the impact of continually running on autopilot, of living in a stress response, in a completely dysregulated nervous system state, where you become so much just running and living on adrenaline that eventually your body just collapses because you ignored every teeny tiny little sign that maybe just started with some mood irritability. and then moved into became something bigger, maybe then you started to become really extra tired, but you had to continue this. You had to keep showing up and doing what you were doing because you told yourself that this was the only way that you could make money. And then the next thing you know, you're starting to maybe get some injury or some illness, but you keep going and you ignore your body's signs. And then it's chronic headaches and you keep going. And then there's anxiety, but you keep going. And the more you kept going, the more your pathway to burnout just continues to get closer and closer, because you're actually on that pathway when you're continuing to keep going. And for so many of us, it's that whole, it is normal to be doing that. It's not. I don't believe it's normal, but it is messaged, it is perceived as being normal to keep doing that, to keep showing up. It is almost like, how would you put it? Like a badge of honor to show up through all of this, and we celebrate it. Good on you. You kept going through all of these challenges. Good on you for showing up despite the fact that you have been in hospital 5 times and your body is just saying, please just prioritize me. And the thing is that with some simple shifts, you can, losing my earpiece, with some simple shifts, you can prioritize yourself. It doesn't have to be the story that you have in your head about what this is supposed to look like, a 5 a.m. routine, an hour exercise a day, eating absolutely nothing but pure organic foods. Whatever your story is about what looking after yourself is that has made it feel too hard for you, that is the first thing that I want you to recognize right now. Now, I'm not here to give you health advice. That is not within my scope. But there are benefits to a healthy mind and a healthy body and a healthy emotional, and healthy emotional intelligence, a healthy nervous system. There is benefits to all of that are going to directly impact your business. Now, yes, they're going to impact your quality of life. That's going to impact your business. Remember, you're co-creating. How do you show up to co-create with this business when you are so depleted that you can't even get out of bed? Because you lived for so long telling yourself that taking care of yourself, putting yourself first, prioritizing your well-being, slowing down for 5 minutes at the beginning of your workday was too much. Now what happens when you can't actually even turn up? Your life is meant to be lived. You are here to live your life. You're not here to be a slave to the jobs on your to-do list. I had to learn that too. I really, truly do. That was a lesson. So let's start now by having a little bit of a look at the impact of a healthy body for your business. And the reason that we're doing this, and the reason that we're even talking about this today, I'm going to give some practical tips at the end, but the whole reason why we are really looking at this and looking at why and how this impacts you is because if you don't connect to and understand for yourself why this is important to you, then you're not going to prioritize it. It's as simple as that. You prioritize the things that you value. And if you are not aware of what it is that you value or why this is going to impact you or what is possible for you on the other side of looking after yourself, if you are not aware of why you should, I don't want to tell you what to do, but I really do believe you should be looking after yourself as a number one priority. Energy management, which is everything. Your energy system, your nervous system, your thoughts, your beliefs, your emotions, your physical energy management over time management every single day. You need to prioritize yourself. So as we go through this, I want you to really start to look at this from your lens. How can I better prioritize myself? What would that look and feel like for me? What benefits are there for me to be able to do this? Because again, understanding your values, understanding how it's going to benefit you is going to help you to actually choose to prioritize it. Because ultimately, everything is a choice. Everything. I could sit here and say, do you know what? There is 75 things to do on my to-do list, and I've also got to do this other thing for the other business, and I've also got to do a lot of cleaning because the kids are home at the moment, and I've got to go and make them food, and I've got all these things that I have to do, and therefore I'm too busy to look after myself. I could sit there and I could say that. That's very easily a story. But then I actually get to choose as well what of that to-do list is actually a priority. What of it is actually necessary? What of it is needle moving? I get to choose a lot more, and so do you. You get to choose a lot more throughout your day in your business than what you probably think you do. Because these choices that we make have been, no, this is essential for so long, or non-negotiable for whatever beliefs and whatever reasons you have driving that for so long, that we forget that it's actually a choice. So, do you know, this week, yeah, there were things on my list that I did that I could have done, but my choice was actually to leave it. My choice was to prioritize my children. That was a choice that I made. Now, some of those things will get done by me at a later date. Some of those things have meant pushing a deadline. That's okay. It's my business. I get to do that. Some of those things I will delegate. But the fact is that it was all a choice. So when we look at a choice to prioritize our body, how is that going to impact your business? I really believe that a healthy body is the cornerstone of your success. You are the driver. You are the essential moving piece. And your body is your vehicle to make your impact in life. You are here in a human body. This is your vehicle. This is the only one that you are going to be given for this lifetime. The only one. And so what makes us think that it is not a priority to actually look after it? To leave open, and we'll talk about it in a moment, different ways of looking after, because that's going to mean something to everybody. But basic things, what I call survival mode when I work with clients, but these are basic everyday needs, and they are breath, water, nutrition, movement, and sleep. Those are basic human needs. But how many of those 5 do you actually neglect in your day? Day to day. How can you confidently say today that you've had enough water to keep your body thriving, that you've eaten food that is going to fuel you to keep going throughout your day, that is going to fuel your brain, that is going to fuel your body, that you have adequately, I'm going to say attempted, because I'm still in the phase of life where I'm woken by other things outside of my control. Have you attempted to be well rested? And you know, on the days where sleep was harder than what it should be or what it could be, add a meditation or a hypnosis in. Do you know a hypnosis can be the equivalent of having 3 hours sleep in terms of the rest that your brain gets? Reach out. I've got some hypnosises that you might be able to listen to. A healthy body is going to help you to tackle the challenges of running a business with more resilience, with better energy. When your body is well nourished, when you are feeling stronger, that strength, you know, that is going to filter into your mind as well. If you think about it, when you are actually exercising, it is your mind and the stories in your mind and the strength of your mind that is building the strength of your body. Because if it wasn't, then it would be saying give up, and you'd give up. So everything is so interconnected. And when you can start to build these things in to your regular day or your week, or however often you choose to commit to things like movement and things that are going to make you more physically healthier and physically stronger, whatever movement looks like for you. I don't know if you're doing yoga or Pilates or strength training or cardio, or you're out walking every day. Like, I'm not here to tell you how to move your body. I am just telling you that a healthy body is going to dramatically support your business. It is going to help your mental health, which we're going to speak more about in a moment. It is going to impact your energy. It is going to impact your cognitive abilities, your problem solving. That's all going to come from nutrition and things as well. We can't pretend that the things that we eat, the food that we fuel our body with, does not impact our brain's functioning. We can't pretend that, because it has been proven over and over again. And these things are just not separate. And so when we look at then having a healthy body for our business, or for our life, yes, for our life, but for our business as well, we also talk about having a healthy mind, because again, they are interconnected. Having a healthy mind is vital for your journey as a business owner, as a coach, as a healer, as somebody who is working with people and holding space. And I'm not saying that we have perfect mental health. Oh God, I'm definitely not the person to say that. No, I am somebody who still manages anxiety from time to time and various moods and all these things. But the fact is that I am there actively looking after myself. I have the tools, I have the support to make sure that I can keep my energy as clean as possible. I have the tools and the support to deal with the shit when the shit happens. I have the tools and the support to help my mental health when I am feeling low, and that does happen, especially as an emotional authority. But if you can't be doing that for yourself, then your energy is not going to be clean enough to be holding it for someone else. Having this mental strength, this is where, because everything is coming from your thoughts, right? Whether you stick with your business or not, whether you throw in the towel, whether you build resilience, this is all going to come from the thoughts that you are thinking. A healthy mind, healthy thoughts are so, so key to your business's success. And yet we might look at things like practicing mindfulness or meditation, or slowing down for 5 minutes to come out of a physiological stress response and into a space where we can actually activate our logical thinking and analytical mind. We think about these things, or self-reflection, or these things that are so essential for our mental health. We think of them as something that we might do if we have time. We think of them as something that are a distraction from the tasks on our to-do list, without realizing that these are the things that are actually going to make or break the way that we do these tasks on our to-do list. These are the things that are going to directly impact the energy that we are putting out into the world, whether it be through a social media post, whether it be through showing up live, through presenting, through sitting with a client, whatever it is, however you are showing up. These are the things that are going to be impacted by whether you have a healthy mind or a healthy body, or whether you don't. What I really need you to do now is connect to what this is going to mean for you. What is a healthy mind and a healthy body going to do for your business and for your life, and for the way that you show up in your business, and for the impact that you make and the energy that you bring to your clients? Without a healthy mind or healthy body, I would not be sitting here recording podcasts. My mind wouldn't allow it. The thoughts that I used to have in terms of being seen, in terms of putting my actual thoughts and opinions out there, they held me back for a really long time. And so all of this internal work that we do as well directly contributes to the health of our mind and our body. It is all interconnected. Our body-mind resides within the cells of our body. Our body-mind holds the subconscious beliefs that we have. These beliefs keep us having these thought patterns and these perceptions that we see the world with. These are the things that determine our emotions and how we feel, and our emotions determine the vibration that we are putting out into the world. A healthy mind and a healthy body is essential. Looking after you is essential. And so I'm going to list a few things now that you might like to think about. If you're like, I just don't even know where to start. Things that you can build on. I don't want you to go and do all of these things, but I want you to use this list as maybe some inspiration as to something that you can start to do to start to prioritize yourself. And so movement is one, nutrition, sleep hygiene, things like meditation, tapping, of course. We love tapping. Stress management, that's a big one. But also then looking more externally at your relationships, your friendships. What are you doing for fun? Your creative outlets. Do you have a creative outlet? Your environment. And moving into your business, looking at things like boundaries, delegating, outsourcing, setting up the systems in place so that you can actually have some space in your business so that you can keep actively detaching from that narrative that it consumes you. That's exactly what I spoke about at the beginning. Creating the systems and the structures and the things in place, having all of that there to hold you so your business can keep going as its own energy whilst you get to actually prioritize yourself and then show up and co-create in the best energy that you possibly can. So those are some ideas of some ways that you can start to prioritize yourself, some things that might feel good for you, and journaling, self-reflection, going out for walks, being out in nature. It's going to be up to you what feels good and what your body and your mind and your energy needs. That's going to be very tailored to you. But what I want you to do now is I want you to choose one thing. Choose one thing that you're going to build on. Maybe you've got the exercise nailed. So now you're going to start to actually work on your mind. And so maybe it's 10 minutes of tapping a day. Maybe it's a meditation a day. If you don't like Googling them and you want specific meditations and specific tappings for different emotions and different circumstances to prioritize your health and well-being, then reach out to me. I have libraries that I can give you access to through our tapping circle. There are ways that are really simple that you can prioritize your health and your well-being and prioritize you. Because yes, health, being, but what is a cornerstone of that we forget about? It's happiness. And that's why I spoke about creativity. I spoke about relationships. I spoke about our environment. I spoke about these other things that play into our health and our well-being. Because when we talk about health, I'm not just talking about whether you have an illness or not that you're aware of. I am talking about your mental, your physical, your emotional, your spiritual health as a holistic picture. Because again, your life, you are here to live your life. That is what you are here for. You're here to live it. You're not here to be bogged down in all of these to-do list tasks that are not even going to move your business forward. Things that you just think that you should be doing because you're not sure what else you should be doing. Get a mentor. Have somebody help you to decipher what is actually important and not important if you don't know. Because you don't have to be tied to your business as if you've been strapped down to a 9-to-5 desk. You don't need to be doing that unless, of course, that is your goal and that's what you want to be doing. But when you pick your one thing, I want you to then ask yourself, okay, what is the possibility? You know me, there's always deeper reflection. What is the possibility? What becomes possible? What is the flow-on effect? Just like when we were talking about the ripple effect of your impact a couple of episodes back, what is the flow-on ripple effect of you implementing this thing in your day-to-day life? And if it is something like tapping, okay, the ripple effect is that you're going to be intervening in your stress response. The ripple effect is that is going to have an impact on your physical health and being because you are not functioning from a sympathetic nervous system. The ripple effect is that is going to allow you to actually engage the part of your brain that you need to actually be engaging when you come in to do your work and to be productive and to be creative. The ripple effect is that then whatever emotions that you were tapping on or whatever story or belief that you were tapping on at that point in time, that actually starts to become dissolved and your brain reprograms the way you'd even had that belief. And so there is a huge ripple effect simply by tapping 10 to 15 minutes a day. So I want you to get clear on what you're going to do and how it is going to impact you. And then once you have that, once you are clear on that, then I want you to just start with a really practical goal, an easy way to get started with this one area of focus. Okay, we don't need to go and do all the things all at once. Start with one thing and build it. Start with 10 minutes a day of tapping, and then maybe that then adds into a bigger energy routine, or maybe that comes off the back of something else. Start with 15 minutes a day of movement, and then that can grow into something else. But start with something. Start with a commitment that actually feels maintainable for you. That is really important. When you look at your commitment, that first of all, we're connected into why this is really going to impact you. But second of all, you are looking at it and going, okay, this goal right now feels achievable and it feels maintainable. And then you are going to show up to this. And that is where discipline is going to come in. And the discipline, that's why, again, we connect to that bigger picture of why this is going to be really good for you, what impact this is going to have in your life and your business. Because then we come back to remember that when the discipline needs to kick in, when we're going, I don't feel like doing this today, or the thoughts of being too busy, or anything that is coming in that could potentially sabotage you. And so then we show up and we create this confidence in showing up, and we create new neural pathways that are making this a new habit for you. And then you can build on that because your nervous system has found safety in this new thing. So choose one thing and start with that. If you have a belief that you do not fall high on that priority list, then that's actually where I want you to start before anything else. Start by working on shifting that. You can challenge it. You can use EFT. You can come and work with me. Start by shifting that belief. You need to believe that you are important. You need to believe that this work is essential for your life and for your business. And then finally, seek out accountability. Maybe there are groups, maybe you are in a program where someone else wants to do something as well, and you can accountability together. That's why I love masterminds. Find a mentor that can support you with these goals. One of the things that I offer in my private coaching packages and healing mentoring packages is Voxer support. That is for accountability. That is so that you can actually make these changes long-term and sustainable, because you're not just left to your own device, allowing your mind to come in and sabotage and your nervous system to come in and sabotage. You can print trackers on Canva. You can do all sorts of things. You can have a reward system in place. These are all things that are going to help you to get started. But the key thing is that you need to believe that you are worthy of getting started for. And so by understanding, again, the impact that this is going to have on your business and the potential of what you can do within your business, because you are coming in a way that you are feeling good. Obviously not every day. It's normalized not feeling good every day. But you are coming in a way that in the best capacity that you possibly can, because you're prioritizing your health and your well-being and your happiness. And you are prioritizing this over being ridiculously busy. You're prioritizing this over things that aren't actually going to help you to move forward in your business. And you're giving yourself permission to think completely differently about all of this. So I'm going to circle back to exactly what I said at the very beginning of this, which is that you are the most important thing in your business. Because even with the perfect strategy, even with the perfect content plan, even with a booked out calendar, you have to be able to maintain that. You have to be able to show up to that. You have to be able to have the energy that is clean enough to hold and support other people. So you are the most important thing. So look at your physical health, look at your mental health, get the support that you need. The containers that I offer in terms of the private support can work with both that mental and emotional capacity as well as a strengths-led business, as can the Transcendence Mastermind. Our 3 pillars are personal evolution, energy management, and strengths-led strategy. Because you can't have one without the other, but you can't implement the strategy without you. Okay? So you are the most important piece in your business, and you deserve to live your life in a way that feels satisfying or peaceful. You deserve to live your life in a way that feels good for you, and giving yourself permission to prioritize yourself is going to be key for that. Key to be able to live the life that you want to live, but key also to be able to have the experiences that you want to be having from the business that you are creating. So I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for being with me today. I look forward to seeing you all next week, and I can't wait to hear. Come over to Instagram and share with me what it is that you are going to be doing to prioritize yourself now. This is not one of those situations where I'm going to start this in a month. When the kids go back to school, I'm going to do what? No. What are you going to start doing from right now? And maybe that just starts with the mindset shift. Right now, I'm going to start by believing that this is actually what I need to do. So come on over to Instagram and let me know. Right? Have the best day.
Wow, what a journey it's been today. We are so grateful for each and every one of you who tuned in to Alive and Thriving. If you enjoyed this episode and want to help us keep growing, please consider subscribing and leaving a review on your favourite platform. It's a simple but powerful way to support a small business like ours to continue to make an impact.